Hello everyone, this is Kona, and thank you for tuning in to another video. Now I probably should have made this video before the free-to-play weekend, but that's okay, I'm gonna make the video anyway. And it's my top 5 recommended heroes for newer players. Before I get started, I would like to mention a few things. First off, this is my personal list for heroes that I would recommend for newer players. If you guys have different heroes on your list, let me know in the comments below. Also, I'm not saying that these heroes are only for new players. They can be played by players of all skill levels. What I'm looking for are heroes that have a good value to execution ratio. Ones that can give a lot of value to the team without putting hours and hours into just execution. So the first hero on my list is Deva, and I chose her because I think she makes a good sort of beginner tank. I know that there's Reinhardt, and Reinhardt makes a great tank. I mean, he's used in a lot of games and he has that huge shield, right? But sometimes if you're, maybe jumping into a game solo and you're new to the game, people don't really know how to use the Reinhardt shield in terms of like the other people on your team. Like the DPS don't know to stand behind the Reinhardt shield, and as Reinhardt, if you're blocking or whatever, you might be blocking for no one, and that can feel kind of silly at times. With Deva, you can do a little bit of everything. You can do some blocking with your defense matrix, that's a great move. You can do some rush down as well. She has great mobility for a tank. I mean, she can fly all over the place. I think that's really good for rushing down certain heroes when they're by themselves. Also, she uses a gun rather than melee. I know that can be a little bit more exciting because this is part shooter. Sometimes with Reinhardt, it can be a little boring to just hit people. I also think she's kind of forgiving when it comes to, getting killed, because she has essentially 2 lives. She has her mech life and then her mini Deva life. So if you lose all your life in your mech, it doesn't feel too bad. You can still continue on and try to get your mech back. At least you can continue shooting down. And her pistol, man, when she's in mini Deva and she's just shooting her pistol, just hold that mouse down and just spam away, because that thing is really good for headshots. I also think her ultimate is pretty good too. I mean, newer players might not understand how Deva's ultimate works, which means when you send it out there and it explodes, you might get like huge multi-kills. Next on the list is Reaper, and I chose Reaper because he is a flanker, and I think he's one of the easier flankers to execute. He has a pretty big health pool, 250, so you can survive a lot, but also he's not as complicated, I feel, as the other ones like Genji, Tracer, and now Sombra. Reaper's very good for learning positioning with his teleport and also timing, when to go in to help your team so that you're most effective. Also, like I said before, he has a pretty big health pool, and you don't have to worry too much about healing because all those orbs that are dropping on the ground from dead bodies, yeah, that's just free health for you. You can just pick that up and just continue on. Also, he's using shotguns, so you don't have to be too accurate with your aim. If you're pretty close to them, you can try to go for some meat shots, especially for tanks. He is really good at shredding tanks. His ultimate is very good too, and I think for newer players it's going to be very effective, but as newer players get better and better at the game, I think they're going to learn that it's not working anymore, pressing Q and winning the game, and so they'll have to think a little bit more about timing and positioning to make that ultimate count. Next on the list is Fara, and I chose Fara because she's a projectile character, and it's pretty straightforward, right? Just shoot rockets. Also, her mobility is very good when you're flying in the air. Some people who are new to the game might not know about, using hit scans as a counter, and so Fara can just stay up in the air pretty much forever. Now, Fara actually got a few buffs recently that make her a lot of fun to play. First off is more lift, so you can just hold spacebar, hold jump, and you can get onto places that are a little bit higher, but you don't have to actually use your jump jet. But if you do want to use your jump jet and go really, really high, you go really high, like insanely high, and I think it allows people to explore the verticality of these maps. Also, now her rockets don't do any knockback on hits, so when you hit someone, they'll just sort of stay where they are or just continue walking the way they were. And I think this makes follow-up shots with Fara a lot easier, which means more damage output. Now, her ultimate is a lot of fun too, but I know some people are going to complain about being locked in the air and getting sniped out of the air or something, and that's going to happen. And so when that does, people start countering you, then you have to be a little bit creative, kind of like Reaper. You're going to have to be a little bit creative on where and when you use your ultimate. Okay, next is Soldier 76, and I chose him because he sort of fills that mid-range hit scan DPS role, kind of like Call of Duty. If you've played Call of Duty before and you've played other first-person shooters that have automatic weapons, you'll feel very comfortable with Soldier 76. I mean, you can't get much more Call of Duty than this. I mean, you could play just Call of Duty, but I'm saying for Overwatch, he's very Call of Duty. Now, he actually recently received a buff as well. His damage was increased a little bit, so now he can shred through people, especially if you go for headshots. If you go for headshots with him, One, they're really satisfying when you hear that noise and see that hit indicator. That's really cool. But also, you're just going to shred through people because he does a ton of damage now. He also has very good self-sustain with his self-healing. He can just drop it down and heal himself and continue shooting. Also, his sprint is very good. Any kind of movement increase is very good on characters, and his sprint is very good because he can use it indefinitely. He can't shoot while using it, but he can use it to get to places very quickly. Let's say if you want to flank someone, you can sprint to that location and flank them. His ultimate is really good too. It's basically aimbot, and I think, kind of like before with Reaper and Fara, in the beginning when newer players I think it'll be very effective, but as people learn how to counter it, let's say there's an enemy Deva or an enemy Reinhardt, they can just put up their shield and block that stuff. So as a soldier, you have to get a little bit creative on when to use that ultimate. So the last hero on my list is Lucio, and the reason I chose him is because he's a very simple healer to use. He's a very consistent healer. Now, if you're solo healing as Lucio, which might happen a lot because there's a lot of people out there who like to play DPS, if you're solo healing and you have your healing aura on, by just existing near your teammates, you're doing your job, you're doing great. Now, you can hit E once in a while to speed up your healing a bit, and Lucio is really about sustain. If you can provide enough health and sustain for your team, that'll give you a very big advantage. Now, he also has his speed boost and his speed aura, which I think are actually the most powerful part of his kit. But sometimes you might not be able to use it in certain situations because it really requires a team effort. I mean, you can always use it for yourself as well, but if you to get the most out of the speed, you need to have your team around you. It's really good when you want to rush to a point and you're going together as a team, but sometimes it might be difficult to get people to move with the speed boost. Let's say you're stuck at a choke and you can't get through. Usually Lucios will try to speed boost through that so that you can just get past the choke. Sometimes your teammates might not know when to go in, so in those situations it might be a little frustrating to have speed aura on and nothing gets done. So those are my top 5 hero recommendations for newer players, and again, this is just my personal recommendation. Now when it comes down to it, if you're new to the game, you can just pick any hero you like. You don't really need to follow this list or anything like that. You can just pick a hero that you enjoy playing, and over time you'll just get better at them. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.